Now it's time for today's perspective on the programme. And my guest on the programme today is a man who founded the organisation Forbidden Stories, a group with a very simple message: if a journalist falls, others rise and continue their work. So it organises journalists to continue the investigations of others who no longer can, either through intimidation, sometimes even through death. Well, first of all, let's watch a clip of what they've achieved this year.
Some stories were never meant to be told, but we told them anyway. In 2025, we continued the work of Victoria Rochina, killed in one of the very prisons she was investigating. We uncovered targeted attacks on journalists in Gaza and pursued the stories they were unable to finish. We also continued the work of fellow reporters silenced in Cambodia, Ghana, Haiti, Kyrgyzstan, Paraguay, Serbia, Syria, and Turkmenistan. We confronted cotton suppliers, Captagon traffickers, luxury car dealers, prison observers, local prosecutors. And we did it as a team, with news organizations all around the world. Our motto for the past 8 years is unchanged: killing the journalist won't kill the story. If one journalist falls, 50 others rise.
And the man in that film is with us, journalist and founder of Forbidden Stories, Laurent Richard. Thanks very much for coming in and talking to us. I explained it very briefly, but tell us in your words, what the organisation is, what you do.
Well, we believe at Forbidden Stories that killing the journalist won't kill the story. And what we are doing here is to pursue the work of others who have been silenced for trying to tell the truth. And so the basic idea of Forbidden Stories is that we are stronger together. And if one reporter is killed, then 50 others will rise and pursue and amplify the work and the stories that others, enemies of the free press, wanted to silence. So this is about collaboration between newsrooms. This is about pursuing the work of a journalist who have been subject to death threats or sometimes killed. And this is about protecting democracy as well, because it's all about our right to know. It's about access to information. And most of the time, journalists who have been killed were investigating very important topics, such as money laundering, environmental crimes, corruption, and many other stories that matters.
Important topics, dangerous topics as well. I mean, presumably carrying on the work of somebody who, for whatever reason, has found they can't carry on can be very dangerous.
Yeah, our project, where we are involving a lot of journalists around the world, we do work with more than 100 newsrooms, are very, very dangerous. At the very beginning, one journalist has been killed, the killer is still free, just kill one person and might be ready to kill another person. So this is why collaboration between newsrooms makes sense, because we are stronger together, because collaboration is bringing protection. It doesn't make sense to kill 49 one reporter if you have 49 other reporters carry on the same story. So this is why more and more we are operating and running some projects from Mexico to Philippines, from Ghana to Malta, to many places where press freedom is under attack.
Well, you mentioned Ghana. We're going to actually take that as one example for you now on the programme. This is an investigation into illegal gold mining in Ghana. Let's watch a clip of that.
These hundreds of square kilometers of illegal gold mines are visible from space. We are in southwestern Ghana, where the gold rush, triggered by the surge in gold prices, is devouring forests, poisoning rivers and the population, and fueling a black market that is stirring up the greed of criminal groups. In 1 year, 10 Ghanaian journalists and their teams suffered abductions, beatings, or death threats during their reporting on these illegal gold mines, also known as Galamsey. Among them was Rastus Saredonkor, who was attacked in October 2024 by armed men while investigating illegal gold mines.
This one will punch you in the face, one will slap you from behind. I thought they were going to kill us. So there are certain areas I cannot go now.
As we saw there, just too hard for him to carry on. But what were you able to do?
Yeah, that's an example exactly of what journalists are suffering: death threats, abduction, and Erastus were trying to investigate illegal mining in Ghana. And this is so what we did. We team up with those reporters in Ghana. Alexander, one of our journalists, went on the field to investigate that and to discover and reveal, first of all, the level of the damages, of the ecological damages, and it's really huge. And we were as well using intelligence artificial to map how all the chemicals were used to those practices are poisoning the rivers, destroying the forest, destroying the local communities as well. And it's not only about the local damages. It's about how these businesses of this gold rush is benefiting to the global market, and as we're investigating the global supply chain, and we're able to reveal that this illegal gold that is then mixed with legal gold is ended up its way in major companies as Tesla, Amazon, or Starbucks. Maybe they are not knowing that they are buying some illegal gold, but this is telling a lot about how opaque this supply chain is.
It's interesting to see the chain, isn't it? I mean, you mentioned environmental issues there. A lot of the issues that you're following now, particularly green issues.
Yeah, over the past 15 years, according to the United Nations, more than 745 journalists have been threatened or under attack because they were investigating environmental issue. So we are in a time in our world where we all focus on climate change, and we all want to save the planet. There is no way we can save the planet if we don't have free journalists able to report on those environmental issues. If we don't know that this company or this major sector, those mining corporation, if they are polluting or not the rivers in Ghana, there is no way we can make progress. There is no way we can access to information about how this could be very harmful for all of us.
And lots of different green issues that you're trying to help with as well.
Yes, absolutely. One of the very first global projects we did was named Green Blood. We were basically, the starting point were the case of 3 journalists, one in India, another one in Tanzania, and the third one in Guatemala. The 3 of them didn't know each other. One have been killed in India, another one have been arrested in Tanzania, the third one have been arrested in Guatemala. The 3 of them were investigating the mining sector, which is one of the most opaque sector we can see in this industry. And so those companies are always as well triggering corruption as well. And we know as well that where you can see corruption in some country, that the same country where you have a lot of attack on press freedom, the same country where you have a lot of impunity after killings against some journalists as well.
Great to get the journalism right. How do you then ensure, of course, that something comes of it? Somebody is actually punished or prosecuted for what they've done?
Well, our role is to act as a journalist, so is to make sure people will read the stories that others wanted to silence, and then it's up to the civil society, to NGO, to do some advocacy work. It happened many times after our investigations that some sanctions have been taken by the EU, for instance, against some Russian operatives who were part of the Wagner network in Africa, for instance. So our role is to investigate, our role is to reveal those crimes, and I'm pretty sure that this is a very efficient approach to defeat impunity. This is our way to defend press freedom, using journalism to defend journalism, because I think that the killers of journalists are much more afraid about having their own crimes exposed than having some statements on them. So this is why teaming up with other journalists when one is falling down is a very powerful deterrent as well.
And just finally, I mean, presumably there are stories that for whatever reason you can't investigate, you can't do everything, can you? I mean, it must be difficult to say, okay, that one we can't do.
Yeah, there are actually many stories we can do, because when we are at the very beginning of the project, the first thing we do is to evaluate the risk. We do a risk assessment, and and many occasions we see that we cannot run this project because we might endanger other persons or the relatives of the slain journalists, for instance. So sometimes we have to wait. We have to take care of the safety of our sources, of our partners as well. There are countries where we cannot operate, where we cannot go physically on spot, but we can at least maybe do some remote investigation using open source techniques and others. So yeah, but we're living in a world where press freedom is globally under attack, where journalists are considered as the enemies of the people from the west to the east. And it's not only about the safety of journalists what we are talking here. It's really about, there is no democracy without information, and there is no information without journalists. So this is what Forbidden Stories is for, is to make sure that people with access to those very important stories about illegal gold mining in Ghana and many other places.
Good to have you with us on the programme. Good to delve into it in a little bit more depth. Laurent Richard, thanks very much for joining us from Forbidden Stories. If you're a French speaker, by the way, you might want to know that our French channel is going to talk about this in a lot more detail as well, with some more guests as well, in around about 15 minutes. So I hate to suggest you might want to swap over, but if you do speak French, you can watch our French channel and see that. Thanks very much once again.